Welcome everyone to this Flax-Linen tutorial from the Alliance for European Flax-Linen and Hemp. Today's topic is subcontractors within the European Flax certification. Why a tutorial on subcontractors? Subcontractors are essential partners in the textiles value chains. They allow certified companies to offer a wider range of services, of transformations, and of products to their clients. But since they handle or transform certified materials and goods, how does the European Flax standard take them into account? What requirements does it set to guarantee the traceability of certified products along the value chains? What exactly are subcontractors? To start simply, subcontractors are not suppliers. For example, Company B buys certified input materials from Company A, who is B's supplier. And B, in turn, is C's supplier. Company B outsources work on their certified materials to Company D, their subcontractor. The differentiating element here is the ownership of the certified materials. Throughout the outsourced process, the contracting organization, Company B, manages the purchase and the sale of the certified materials and retains the ownership of these materials while they are transformed at D. The subcontractors D invoices only the service or the activity provided to the contracting organization, not the product. Within a certified value chain, all steps must be European Flax certified, including processing or trading. This means that companies A, B, and C must be certified. But that is not the case for Company D. European Flax certification is not required for subcontractors that are not legal owners of the materials or products. However, activities that are subcontracted must appear in the certificate scope of the contracting organization, while the subcontractors themselves do not. In our example, Company B's certification scope will have to include subcontractor D's activity, weaving. Another thing that subcontractors cannot be in a European Flax certified process is related to the contracting organization. Common ownership is an ownership structure where all sites under the scope of the European Flax certificate are owned by the same organization. Ownership means at least 51% of ownership interest over the sites. Any company with a common ownership link with your own cannot be your subcontractor. Instead, to handle or transform certified materials or goods, related companies must either each hold their own certificate or be part of a multi-site certificate as the certificate holder or a sub-site. More on multi-site certificates in our next tutorial. Now, what are the other requirements for subcontractors in the European Flax standard? The contracting organization and the subcontractor must sign an agreement where the subcontractor commits to ensuring the traceability of the certified material from input to output with the same level of requirements as certified companies. This means having a traceability system throughout the entire processes, with physical segregation of certified materials in space and time, identification by permanent physical markers at each step, documentary or software tracking, and record keeping. Subcontractors also commit to submitting to on-site controls by the organization and/or the certification body, and to requesting the approval of the contracting organization before outsourcing to other subcontractors. Subcontractors of subcontractors must go through the same process and requirements, must appear on the subcontractors list of the contracting organization, and their activity must be included in the scope of their certificate. Production orders and delivery notes from the subcontractors, as key elements for tracking certified materials, must clearly identify each lot of certified material and be kept for records. Please note that a subcontractor shall not use the certificate number of the contracting organization on any document. What should a certified company do before working with subcontractors under their European Flax certificate? The organization shall, first, ensure the conformity of the subcontractors to the criteria we have just seen. Second, sign a contract with them. And third, establish or modify the list of subcontractors for Bureau Veritas approval. The list can be drawn early in the certification process via the RFQ. It needs to be approved by the certifying body after the initial audit and is then added in appendix to the audit report. The scope of approved subcontractors must be included in the certificate of the contracting organization. This list must be maintained up to date over time, since changes are allowed. But they must be recorded with their addition or removal dates and be submitted to Bureau Veritas for a review of conformity leading to a new audit. That's right, the verification and approval of new subcontractors can lead to a new audit, so we advise to add them at the time of your surveillance or renewal audits. But until then, only subcontractors from the last approved list can be used. Organizations must audit their subcontractors against compliance to the European Flax standards requirements as follows: before the first production, on-site, and at least once a year. The audits shall verify that traceability procedures there are written, that the employees are aware of them, and implement them. They must ensure that, from input to output at each step, certified materials are physically segregated or identified with physical markers, and they are tracked by documentary or software system. A sample of production orders for certified products shall be verified for actual traceability. And the audit reports must be recorded and demonstrate the verification of the above. Subcontractors may become European Flax certified themselves, in which case the verification consists of checking the validity of their certificate and that its scope covers the outsourced activity. Bureau Veritas audits check that the organization has performed these audits of all of their subcontractors before any production through requested documents. During the first surveillance audit, the certification body samples subcontractors off the list to perform on-site audits. The sampling rules depend on the risk level for fiber blending of the subcontracted activity. If the subcontractor has a valid European Flax certificate, they are exempt from such on-site audits for subcontractors.